Howdy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're coming back, I'm sorry in advance for what will be another crap video. But lately been building a chopper. Maybe you've been watching that, maybe you haven't. And I got the opportunity to do a really cool sort of chrome dress up on the motor for the chopper, and it made me thinking, got all nostalgic, thinking about how much my father would have killed to have this in the late 80s, early 90s. So I thought we'd show it a little bit because pretty friggin' slick. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I bought a chopper from a buddy of mine. God, it's been at least a year, I would imagine, since I bought that thing. And this chopper was his wife's 883 Sportster that got dropped. It's a 1990 model, got dropped in 2000, just very lightly. Didn't turn it into insurance or whatever, and just decided a 10-year-old 883 Sportster ain't worth much, so I'm going to build a chopper out of it. He pulls the 883 motor out, takes it to his buddy Doc, a very highly respected chopper builder here in South Florida, who unfortunately has passed and is no longer with us. Doc takes that 83 Sportster and a couple pieces and parts, the wiring harness for some reason. He was old school. The wheels, switch gear, and a couple things. Gets the Paco catalog and goes crazy ordering a frame and tins and all that stuff, and makes him a purple chopper that had the bones of a cool old school bike, but was built in the style of something that I hated. It was very, well, at the time, none of us hated it, right, in 2000, but that sort of Orange County choppers, Paul Tuttle, spikes and Maltese crosses everywhere, the 2000-ish. But underneath all that was a Paco frame with a first-gen Evo Sportster motor, which, while Doc had it, he put the top end off of a Buell, I think Firebolt, 1200cc, so 1200 kit, off of a Buell, heads off of a Buell, Wiseco pistons, and built a Hot Rod 1200 sporty motor, still a 4-speed. So the motor's out of the frame. The frame's off getting, I did some cutting and grinding on it, and it needed to be, cleaned up a little bit. So Quality Handmade Cycles has the frame right now, just checking where I ground on it and adding my tank bungs, welding those in, that sort of stuff for me. But while that's happening, I'm working on the motor a little bit. Just clean up. Thing had been sitting there. It was an everyday rider for 10 years, from 2000 to 2010, an everyday rider, and then it got parked. Ran when I parked it. So I've got the motor here, and in the process of all this stuff, I buy all my parts and stuff from Dennis Kirk. I always have, right? They're just my favorite online retailer. If there's a specialty little chopper thing I can't get from Dennis Kirk, then there's a couple other vendors I go to that are really great. But in this process, I reached out to him and said, during Sturgis actually while I was there, and said, there's a hair stuck to my damn camera. Anyway, it's nasty. So they said, well, let's find some cool stuff for you to use also. And they sent me some stuff. So they sent me a new rear wheel, some dress up, a cool air cleaner. They're just helping out with some stuff to kind of ease on the wallet a little bit because, a bike that's worth 10 grand costs 25 to make, just saying. So they sent me a chrome dress-up kit for an Evo Sportster motor. My father would have killed for this. I grew up on the back of his Evo Sportster. He had an 87, ordered a 91. This is a 1990, motor that I'm using. In 91, they came out with a 5-speed transmission and a belt drive. This is chain drive 4-speed. You would have killed to chrome your motor back then, but it would have cost a friggin' fortune, right? There weren't chromers everywhere. There aren't now, actually. But back then, it was even worse, and it would have cost a fortune. This kit they sent me, I thought it was pretty damn slick. I wanted to show it. Because if you're out there and you've got a 883 or 1200 Sporty, same kit, pretty sure. And if not, then you can do different years. This one cuts off at 90, but I'm sure there's a 91 on, whatever. But on Dennis Kirk, they got this thing. I'll find a link and I'll put it down below. But this retails for like $375, and I really like it. So I wanted to show you what it comes with. So first, it comes with a chrome primary cover. I have not put this piece on yet because I'm waiting on the clutch cable that I ordered from Dennis Kirk. Be here on Tuesday. If you don't have the clutch cable in, you're just doubling your work to put this on, take it off, put it back on. So, sitting here. So, nice piece of chrome. I mean, this is actually a chromed piece of aluminum. You can see it's significant. Not a cheap piece at all. That's really nice. Comes with all your bolts and your caps. So you need to put those in. Those are in a separate package over in my pile of goodness. And then over here, I've already done the rest of it to the motor. So you got a sprocket cover in the rear, which is actually a chromed, piece like that primary. On the cam cover, what it comes with is a chrome steel piece, because you may or may not know this, but on a Sportster, like on any bike, the cams are in bushings in that cover. So you don't want to take that thing off if you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So what this is a chrome steel piece that you take just a few bolts out of your cam cover and your breather, you know, fitting out. This steel piece goes right on over it. You put those pieces on, put the air breather fitting on. That was nice on a video, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm leaving it. I don't edit. But I'll show you. You cannot tell. They match up perfectly and everything. So here, let's see. So this piece here is steel. And that there's chromed aluminum. As you can see, they're perfect. You can't even see the seam that's right here, right? And the fitting goes back through the steel piece. You know, breather hose back on, good to go. Comes all this hardware and all this stuff. Now, the one thing I had to change out, what it comes with is a set of 4 of these, right? These are rocker covers, but they're intended for, you know, the tank is stock, like the bike is stock. This would cover the rocker, right? But give you space to stick it up under the frame and stick those on. I haven't done this, but I'm sure that's what it's for. I mean, like if your frame's resting real close to the motor, you may not want to mess with taking your rocker covers off. You can just put this chrome steel piece over the top. 2 of them meet each other, and then that's how they bolt on. That wasn't going to work for me because in this chopper, this motor is sitting right out there. I mean, like the backbone is a good 9, isn't that 9 inches? About 9 inches off top of the motor. So you can see the entire top of the motor. I couldn't have gaps in my chrome. So for 130 bucks, I bought and ordered from DK again, chrome actual rocker covers. So these are not included in that kit. I bought those separate, but I think the retail on the chrome dress-up kit is like $375, and that includes the cam cover, sprocket cover, the rocker covers, and the primary. I think, for my money, if I've got a Sporty that's raw aluminum or blacked out and I want to start chroming it, whatever, that's a pretty goddamn good deal. So I'll put the link down below again, but for $375, you can start chroming out your motor, and that's freaking badass, and anyone can do this. I'm telling you, this is not hard stuff. The primary is probably your most difficult thing. Still should not be scared, because you're just taking your primer. You're gonna drain the oil first. Don't surprise yourself with a gush. Oh, it comes with gaskets too, by the way. I should have mentioned that. It comes with the gaskets you're gonna need. So that makes life a lot easier not to order those. If you do need to order them, you can get them. They're not, you know, super rare or anything like that, but they come with a nice beaded gasket. What else? Hang on a moment. I was thinking, it's like, there's something else I want to think of. There's one thing it does not include that I had to hunt down, and I think I know why now, is they're hard to find, is some old school chrome tappet covers. Man, those, you can see, this is what I'm talking about, these tappets. It does not come with chrome one of those, and I had to hunt those down, and I actually had to go new old stock off eBay. I kind of like it when I find that stuff. I'll show you what I found. So I found these on eBay, or as Vice Grip calls it, Evil Bay. I think I only paid like 20 bucks ship for them, but they're a set of new old stock chrome, what's it says? It says Chrome Specialties American Motorcycles made in Taiwan. But just some chrome tappet covers will stick on there. I don't know if you glue them on or if there's double-sided tape. I haven't even opened them yet, but this is actually kind of a hard thing to find for this generation of motor. As you can see, it's 1986 to 1990. So pay attention to that, new Sportster boys out there. They changed. So the Sportster came out in 57. I don't know what the first gen motor was. If it was an iron head in 57, what was it? No. Wouldn't have been an iron head. Would have been an overhead valve? What? I don't know. Never. I don't have one. Don't know. But 57 came out, and then around the 70s, it would have gone to the iron head, which is a shovel head design. The difference between a Sportster and a regular, like big twin, is that it's one piece. The transmission and the motor is one piece, if you don't know all that stuff. So an iron head would have been the sort of shovel head Sportster. And then in 1986, the Evolution Sportster came out, the first generation Evolution Sportster, which was chain drive and 4-speed, whether it was an 883 or a 1200. And then, wasn't there an 1100 in there too? I don't know, whatever. And then 86 to 90 was that. And then a 91 belt drive 5-speed came out. And then there were the multiple generations from there on. So 91 to 97? You got to check that stuff. The reason why is when I talk about this chrome dress-up kit, make sure you're ordering it for the right generation of sporty motor you got, because the gaskets can be different. So the gaskets under those rocker covers are different in 1990 than they are in 1991. You know, so just check all that stuff. But I'll put the part numbers down below. This was a lot of fun. Thanks again to Dennis Kirk for sending me this set, because I'm going all in on the paint and the forward controls that I ordered to replace the old crappy ones, and brand new wheels that I ordered, and we're going old school on my tires. Yes, they're Shinkos, but they're the old-fashioned, you know, vintage style, you know, nostalgic tires. We're going all in on stuff, handmade seat, blah, 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 blah. So little things here and there that Dennis Kirk's doing is helping out a lot, because 400 here, 400 there adds up, right? So love you all to death. Take care of each other out there. Comment down below, you know, any questions you got or input. I know you're all excited to see it. Frame should come back, I'm hoping, by the end of January. Not putting too much pressure on Chopper Carl up in Port St. Lucie, who's painting it for me. He's a bad MFer, and I don't want to put pressure on him. Hopefully have the tins and frame back by the end of January. If not, maybe first week of February. Then it's just all in assembly, because it's got to be done by Daytona. I feel like a goddamn Discovery Channel show from 2002, but it is what it is. We get it back early February, and then I got 4 weeks to figure out wiring and everything else. So love you all to death. Take care of each other out there. We'll talk real soon. Bye.